Hi, everybody. I'm your host, Chaniah Kelly, and welcome to Soul Cync, where we heal, share, love, and just get to be. Today, I am thrilled to welcome our special guest today. She is an entrepreneur, actress, well-being enthusiast, TV media personality, and now author, but also my dear friend, Denise Rodriguez.
Hi.
Hello, my love.
Hello. Thank you, beautiful.
I'm so happy you're here. I just want to
Likewise.
first say that. So grateful. So good to see you. What's new? What's been up?
It's so good to be here finally. I feel like we've talked about this for a while, so I'm happy to be here.
I know, finally.
Yeah, everything's good. Just trying to stay alive these days.
After the pandemic, nothing has been the same.
A whole other reality, honestly.
Yes.
But we're here.
We are here.
We're striving.
It's so funny because every time me and Denise hang out, it's like a whole podcast episode. So now that we're finally here filming, I'm like, okay, we finally mic'd up and could do this.
I know.
But I am just so grateful that you're here and our friendship and everything. And just getting into that is like how important it is to survive, stay alive in LA, but just even in the world, it's hard for everyone right now. Mm-hmm. But what makes it easier is having amazing friends like Denise.
Oh, likewise, baby.
But with that being said, like in LA, being in the entertainment industry and just surviving, how has it been hard finding your tribe here? Because like, yes, you guys make it easier, but what is that process like with being in the entertainment industry, being here and surviving?
Yeah, I mean, I moved here from the East Coast 6 years ago, and I was very lucky, to say the least, because as soon as I got here, through mutual friends, I just created a bigger group of friends and got introduced to my core friends that some of them still am super close with till this day. So I guess, having that leeway was easy to kind of build my tribe. But as the years have passed, I'm not the same version of me I was 6 years ago. So, you outgrow some, you grow closer to some. And especially being in the industry, there's a lot of discernment that goes into that. You want to make sure that it's an equal give and take. Mm-hmm. And that's just its own journey. I feel like, especially in adulthood, it's so much easier when you're a child to just build friendships and think they're going to be in your life forever, and you're very in the moment with them. Mm-hmm. But then as you get older, you go through more things and you see who's there, who's a shoulder to lean on, who's not. It just starts diluting itself. Honestly, I've learned that with time. It does its own work when it comes to friendships. The universe or God, whatever you want to label it, brings you to who you need to be attracted to and kind of rejects anything that isn't supposed to be there.
Right.
So I kind of have just gone with that natural flow since I've moved here, especially our industry that can be a little tricky.
100%. Just even so you've been here for 6 years now.
Yes.
What would you say, what has changed and transformed the most with just your outlook on living here, being in the industry, to then super getting into being a well-being enthusiast? Because well-being and entertainment industry doesn't really go hand in hand.
Yeah. I feel like I moved with a specific goal in mind. I had this vision of what I wanted to do with my career, and that's why I moved to LA, was to pursue my career in acting and entertainment reporting. I saw, I conquered. I feel like I got here with a specific dream, and I achieved, thankfully, those accolades or those goals that I had in the industry. But once I reached them, and once I was in them, in the entertainment reporting world, in the acting world, it just felt a little different, and it shifted my desires. I think I was on set for this show that I got casted for. It was a scripted series. We filmed out of Puerto Rico for a few months. And while I was over there, I was by myself. So during that time, I had a pre-pandemic, I call it. Mm-hmm. A lot of reflection, a lot of just dissecting what I was doing in that moment and if that was truly what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. And once I just reflected a little bit, it did transition me more into a well-being state of realizing that communicating and talking with people and being in front of the camera is my passion, but it is shifting into what am I on camera doing. And specifically now, I just, have been more focused on, I know well-being, right, and your mental health and emotional regulation, and just understanding what that is, and teaching others or just learning from others. And in some way, I have now realized that I'm meant to bridge both. I'm meant to bridge the entertainment world that I come from with this well-being and wellness state that I'm in right now, and create just a platform where we can bridge both worlds and it not be so taboo.
For sure. It's not an easy thing to do, and even staying motivated to do both is a practice. But when did your spiritual journey begin?
Okay, so I was raised religious. I was raised Catholic. My parents weren't super religious. We weren't going to church every week and stuff, but I was baptized and I did my first communion. But once I got into adulthood, I built my own relationship with myself and what religion was. And I got introduced to meditation in 2019. And while I was in Puerto Rico, actually, I started practicing meditation heavily. So I would say fall of 2019 was when my spiritual journey got more serious and I became super more disciplined in discovering just what I was more comfortable with. I started disidentifying with religion and identifying more with the general aspect of spirituality. I did a lot of research. I read a lot of books. And I know we read them together. And then I just started indulging in just deeper mental practices, and that's where it took off. So I would say fall 2019 I started indulging.
That's so crazy, because it's literally when my spiritual journey began. I remember because it was before the world turned upside down.
Okay.
And then this just makes me think how everything happens the way it's supposed to. And just even with creating your tribe, when you decide to choose yourself, become more spiritual, or when you get introduced to spirituality, things just start to come together. So for both of us to have this awakening and dive deeper into spirituality at the same time makes sense of how we met and came together,
of course,
and all the effortless similarities, which I love that.
We had mutual friends and we never knew until we met.
Isn't that crazy?
But it's what you're saying. It happened exactly.
I have to stop saying that's crazy, because
it's not. It's crazy until it happens. Pastor Todd says that.
But no, that is a thing. Me and Denise have so many mutual friends that are so close and dear to me and so close to you.
Yes.
And we have been in the same places multiple times, never crossed paths. And then when we did, it was really the most perfect and aligned time. And we've been stuck together ever since.
Yes, I agree.
Let's get deeper into spirituality, though, and what it means to you, to the viewers that are like-minded as well.
Yeah. I feel like spirituality to me means just that relationship that you develop with your non-physical self, whether that's your inner self, you call it God, you call it your higher self, you can label it whatever you want, but I feel like spirituality is just that relationship and the practices you build to build that relationship with just you and what really is you, your creator,
Yeah.
So that's what spirituality means to me. It's another form of, I guess, religion, but not.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like the difference with spirituality and religion, or my definition and take from it, is with religion, so many other people are involved. With spirituality, it's really you versus you. It's really you with God, you with your intuition, you with your higher self. And now that makes me want to get into your book.
Yes.
I know I wanted to wait a little bit, but it was just so good.
Thank you.
Master your energy, master your reality. Can we please? I'm so proud of you that you're an author, and it goes with what we're talking about. So let's get into the book.
Let's get into it.
One of my favorite things that you talk about in your book that I could really relate to, that I've struggled with, and I think was kind of the biggest hump for me to get over in my healing journey, was just people pleasing and overcompensating and over loving and just doing too much, because the way I was raised is like unconditional love.
Right.
Like, I don't know how to give
Right.
50% when someone else gives 50%. Like, the way I love is like 100% and 100%. So being that way, being raised that way, and just naturally being a lover girl, which I know you could relate to. I love how much you talk about people pleasing in the book and just how to overcome it. Did you struggle with that as well?
Yes, I feel like writing the book was more of showcasing my own inner journey, because going back to what spirituality is, it's an inner journey rather than outer, and that taught me so much about balance. And when I was going through this journey of just, some people call it spiritual awakening, or just awakening to a deeper part of yourself that you weren't aware of before. While I was on this journey, I just started realizing a lot of things about my personality traits, my relationships, my upbringing, my childhood, my ancestors. So many things came up, and I needed tools to process all these things. And the only thing I would turn to was myself. I would go into meditation, and I would ask first through prayer, and then sit there long enough to receive the answers. And I did, and I feel like that helped me get through so many different realizations. And then after a few years have gone by of that process, I've gone back to these journals, and there were so many tools of how to heal people pleasing, or how to heal reacting to like a trigger. So many things I talk about in the book, and that's when I realized, okay, I need to put this out. And yeah, absolutely, I feel like I've dealt with people pleasing because, like you were saying, we're very loving people. We, identify as empaths, and that's just hypersensitive. I believe everyone's an empath, honestly. I just feel like some of us are blocked or aren't in certain areas. But that being said, I feel like all of us have the potential to just love each other unconditionally. But I do feel like the awareness of the balance that has to be there, we've lacked in certain ways.
Right.
Just because I know I started realizing I was feeling depleted after certain interactions, and that's because, like you explained, you give 100 but they're giving 50, and it's not about you not giving 100 anymore. I think that's where we kind of get confused when we talk about boundaries, which is another topic we talk about in the book.
Boundaries.
Yes,
it used to be such a foreign word to me, but now I'm like, it's my best friend.
Yes, because if you recognize what people pleasing is, and if you identify with that term, you have to adapt boundaries. That's the only way to get out of people pleasing, is by learning what boundaries are and then adapting them to your life. And that's what I did. I had to learn what they were first, because I know we talked about it. I was like, what is even a boundary?
Right.
And then I started adapting them, and that healed people pleasing, because you're more aware, you have more discernment, you have more courage. So
I know I said, like, one of my biggest struggles that I had to get over was people pleasing. What would you say yours was during your healing journey?
Oh my God, that's a great question. And I don't know why before answering I'm getting emotional.
It's okay.
Oh my God, I want to cry.
We laugh.
I know, we really do. We cry and laugh together all the time.
We laugh till we cry.
Literally. Listen, I feel like every part of this journey was something that I really had to go through and discover. The biggest one, I'm really getting emotional.
It's okay.
Okay.
Oh, we're here. I mean, we just talked about it. That's our superpower, how well we can feel things. And, like, I just want to say, you're going to make me cry, too. But I just want to say how proud I am of you before you even share. Because, like, Denise, you guys, she embodies so much love and grace while still being, Dominican. And having that spice and sass and that strength and courage. So just know that, like, I love you, I support you, I see you, and I want to go there, because there's so many other women that, like, as soon as we get emotional, we're like, okay, never mind. We're not gonna go there. But that's where your power is. And
I appreciate you, because the one thing you've taught me is to let it out. You're like, don't hold it in. You always say that to me. I always think of that. Okay, so to answer the question, I would say is forgiveness. I feel like without noticing, I just held on to a lot of hurt and resentment from just past situations or childhood, you know. Ah, sorry. All right, so a little reset. Like we can cut until now. So yeah, I feel like I was holding on to a lot of hurt or pain from the past. And through this journey of spirituality, I was able to become aware of that because I didn't even realize that I was holding on to resentment or what people could say grudges. I would walk around like, no, I'm fine. There is no grudges. I don't, everybody was, I was very dismissive before. But then through my spiritual journey, I realized like, there's a way to move on from things that maybe didn't feel the best in the past in a healthier way, where you're not just dismissing what happened, where you can acknowledge it, process it, and move on from it truly. Because to ignore it is not moving on from it. So I would say forgiveness was like my biggest lesson, realization.
I love that you said that because for a long time I thought like, okay, I'm just going to act like this didn't happen. Like, you're dead to me. Mm-hmm. I'm just going to go on about my life and I'm going to fill my life, which is good. And the things I want to acknowledge.
Like replace it with another good thing.
But that's not forgiving. That's not getting over it.
No.
Like putting it aside. And you talk about that in your book. And I love the verbiage you used too. You said distress and dis-ease, disease.
Literally, it's in the word.
Yeah.
It causes disease, dis-ease in your body. And through my spiritual journey, I not only indulged in that relationship with your inner self, but I also indulged in quantum physics, energies, masculine energy, feminine energies, how stress shows up in your body, how it shows up in your mental state, how it shows up in your emotional states. And dis-ease, when you feel a dis-ease in your body, eventually through time, when you don't address it or allow it to flow out of your body, it can then turn into physical conditions. These are what things we are now aware of as tumors or cancer, breast cancers. Like these actually are energetic built. Like,
right.
I know some of us don't really believe in all of that, but I do. And I've done my research deep enough to really see how that all mixes and is all connected.
So do you feel like with doing your research and the books that you've read and just diving into your spiritual journey, that's what made you go back into going back and going in your shit list and like, all right, let me confront this. Let me, learn how to forgive this person? Or was it through physical pain and like, ooh, that triggered me and now we have to go there? Like, what does that forgiving process look like for you, for everyone else that need to learn how to let it go?
Ooh, great question. Again, I think definitely sitting with myself and revisiting some of the places that I was hurt in helped me then process it and let it go. And then once you do fall into your own routine of healing yourself, I think it's all very individual and personal of how we heal out of these kind of circumstances. But I feel like once you do get to this enlightened state where you see beyond the circumstance, and then you are able to reach a level of forgiveness naturally, because that's who we are at our core. I truly believe that we are unconditional loving beings, and I don't think it's hard as we think it is to reach that point of like forgiveness. But also, physical pains were involved. I feel like for me personally, it was a lot of tension, a lot of like this like tightness around my chest area and around my uterus area.
Let's get
and
into
those
the chakras.
Right, exactly. And I love that, you said that, because exactly, we really do speak the same language. And absolutely, it goes into your chakra system. And what points of your body are we speaking about? I had to go deeper and look into my chakra system and learn about my chakra system, because I was feeling physically these, types of symptoms, and I wasn't aware of what I was feeling. And when I did my research, when I read a little deeper into your energetic points. This is your heart chakra. That was my sacral chakra that I felt this in. And that's when I started the healing, and then you get to a point where it opens up and you're able to then flow again.
Right.
Yeah.
With writing your book, did you have moments where you were triggered with like talking about certain things?
Mm-hmm. I love that you're asking me these things, because no one's really dived this deep, but absolutely. Especially doing the audiobook, when I was in the studio filming it and having to speak out loud, yeah, it was a lot of flashbacks, a lot of nostalgia I felt, because I was going back to when I realized these lessons when I was recording the audiobook, and I'm like, oh my God.
I'm just smiling because like you saying that and then me going back, because I read it, I listened to it again, love it.
Thank you.
But I love how you read it and how you spoke about it, and it makes me laugh now because there's a point in the book where you're like, all right, warning, the triggers are gonna come up. And I'm like, maybe that was like one of the times where it came. And like, but I love that you even put that out there, because healing, it's a never-ending journey.
Never ending.
And your relationship with spirituality is, I think, one of the most important ones. So with healing and putting it out there, because I feel like so many people glamorize it. Like they think it's cute with the crystals and the sage and the Palo Santo, but it's like, we have to do this because we're crazy. Like it took a lot to get to this point.
Absolutely.
But I love how you said it in the book of just like you have those times where like, okay, you're going to know the triggers are going to come up, and don't be scared of it. Like that's where we go to that and we get excited. And another thing that I just wanted to point out was you talk about practice makes perfect, and you reword it and you said practice makes permanent. And I love that, because another thing that I struggled with, I'm like, this is a therapy session for me too, but it is perfectionism. So to reword that and say permanent, it almost feels like hug and comfort of the journey of just like, okay, keep at it, and it's gonna that permanent growth, that's how spirituality is. Once you overcome that hurdle and that struggle, like you might get triggered, but it's not gonna be the same as when you first face that enemy.
Absolutely. I think going back to what you were previously saying, spirituality and this journey within, there is a shadow side to it, and your shadow self, that dark energy, the dark feminine or the dark masculine that we speak of in the spiritual world, that's real. And this is the reality we live in on this planet. Is there's duality, there's good, there's bad, there's light, there's dark. And I think, some of us get afraid when we start feeling those shadows creep up, but the power is when you face them with your light, because light is always more powerful than the dark. I always give this analogy because it's the one that helped me the most, where you look at a dark room and there's light on the other side of the door, and you open that door, there's going to be a little creep of light that's going to creep into that dark room. It doesn't matter how tiny, there's going to be light that's going to come through that dark room, because light is always more powerful. And I feel like when it comes to that phrase that I included in the book, practice makes permanent, it was mainly also from learning through quantum physics that we're creatures of habit. So if you have, for ages, generations, if we want to talk deeper, have been feeling a certain way or have been acting out a certain way, then it's normal for you to have to consistently practice something new in order for you to become that new. And then that's when it materializes and it becomes permanent, is as you continue to do it. It's not that it's going to be perfect. Perfect is objective. It's subjective to who you are.
Perfection is a trap.
And it's what, perfection is different to you and me. Like, you might think something is perfect and I might not. So what really is perfect?
Right. I love that. With dealing with that and trying to keep up, I'm not going to say trying, with keeping up with the practice and this never-ending self-healing journey, we know how important it is to surround ourselves with like-minded people, but what is other things that you can help us with, or that have helped you with your journey and have supported you and made the practice easier?
So I would say something that I didn't realize that maybe will help you guys the way it helped me was going back to my hobbies that I enjoyed doing when I was younger. So a lot of dancing, a lot of nature. I definitely have turned to certain practices, or like I was saying, like hobbies that you do that you know bring you peace, that bring you into the present moment, and that's something that really helped me heal. So just going back to finding those old hobbies again and doing things that bring that joyful, that kid-like excitement back.
That healing inner child.
It'll heal you instantly.
Yeah.
And do things that you feel are out of the norm. Like I want to start surfing. So that's, something I want to take up. Just think about your hobbies.
Right.
And those should be like filling you up and recharging you.
I love that. It all goes back to you.
Yeah.
And your inner self, your inner child. Right. I love that. I love how effortless it appears, like how you do it, of just staying authentic to yourself. What advice would you give with staying authentic to yourself in a world that's constantly trying to get you to conform?
Wow. I would say remember that you were made one of one for a reason. Like there's a reason why you're unique and you have a specific gift that you were put here to give or to share with us. Don't forget that, because even if the world wants all of us to walk and talk the same, it's not why we're here. Right. Just remember that you were made differently for a reason, on purpose. And there's magic there.
Yes.
There's a lot of magic there.
Thank you so much for sharing that with us and getting vulnerable. Yes. I love that. Again, it shows your strength, and I really appreciate it. I want to go back to friendship, though, and relate it back to us, because it makes me think and it makes me smile of the meme that's been circulating on Instagram of it was like, little do my friends know that every time we hang out, it heals a piece of me. And that's how I really feel with you.
Yes, I agree.
No, see, every time I'm like, even though we cry, it'll be followed up with a laugh later. But let's just get into how important it is to find your tribe and how much that support makes a difference to the healing journey. So I guess first, let's start off with, do you feel like you found your tribe here in LA? Like, do you think you have like your soul sisters now?
I do. I'm very blessed with the people that have been placed around me, especially being so far away from home. I was raised very family oriented, around a lot of family all the time. So being over here, that was hard. So knowing that I have like a good, solid group of friends around me was beautiful. Those relationships have transformed, though, naturally through my own changes throughout the last few years. And some of those relationships have drifted further apart, but some have drifted closer together. And I honestly feel like my tribe is going to be shifting as I shift throughout my life. Like we were saying earlier, we are growing eternally. I think we're forever growing. We're going to forever be healing. And I feel like your community will shift, forever. And I'm okay with that.
Right. As we unlock new levels.
Yeah.
I love that, because now I want to get into when you do feel like you've outgrown a relationship or a friendship or whatever, business partnership. How do you go about that? Like, it's no shade, no love lost, but you're in a different space.
Yeah, likewise. It's definitely no bad blood. I don't like leaving things with a bitter taste in my mouth. Unfortunately, I can't say that I've always been good at leaving things at a peaceful state, but I have intentionally tried my best in every circumstance to do that. It doesn't always, I don't feel, have to be a conversation. I feel like sometimes it is better to just let time and space heal things between you and others. I'm one person that believes that we're all very aware of the things we do and how we treat others, whether we want to admit it or not. So I feel like when a relationship in my life has outgrown itself, I could feel we're both aware of it. So
Right.
I think in that case, the communication isn't truly needed. It's more of just let the natural flows of life happen. And I've learned through my journey that some relationships, we just all have seasons with each other. We have seasons, and the seasons come and go, and maybe it'll resurface at a certain point of your life, and maybe it never does again. But there is this natural flow through your growth individually that will naturally just show up in your friendships.
Right.
So there is this kind of adaptability that, I definitely feel like I've worked on, that has been grounded in love no matter what. It's like, even if we grow apart, I know that this is what's meant to happen, and I love you with all my heart. And I've always tried to remain true to that, where it's like, it doesn't matter what happened between us. If you're around me, I'm going to protect you like my own, no matter what, forever. But, boundaries, and that's okay. That's life. It flows. It's going to come and go. Just accept and let it go.
Right, let it go. Don't keep it in.
Don't keep
let
it
it
in.
out.
Yeah.
It got so deep. We were supposed to keep it warm and fun.
I know.
Sorry.
It got deep real quick.
No, I love all that. There's been so much growth with you. I'm so proud of you just as your friend, because every day, like, the goal is to be better than yesterday. And every time I see you, it just feels like years and years of growth and accomplishments. So you have, accomplished another huge thing with this ebook. Is there anything that we could look forward to? What's next?
There's definitely so much more coming. Thank you so much for your words. And yeah, there's a few more projects under my belt, especially with the book and more books and, on camera work. So just stay tuned. I'm like, stay tuned.
Yes.
There's a lot more coming, and a lot of physical projects that I've been working on behind the scenes and designing, because, we ventured out to different avenues. I creative direct now. I have started my own projects on the side and designing for them. So soon we'll see a few things coming out. So
Amazing.
I'm like, I don't want to disclose too much.
I know. Okay, so for now, let's just stay in what you currently have. Master your energy and master your reality. You can download it now. But before we leave, let's end it on a light note. Let's ask some fun questions.
Yes.
Okay. We know that you are the snack queen. So I wanted to start it off with, what is your ultimate feel-good snack?
Ooh, why are you putting me on the spot?
Oh, yeah.
I don't like to choose. I love my options.
Okay, what's
It's
a couple?
fine. I'll give you, I'm like, it's fine. I'll answer. I'll give you a couple. If I'm craving something chocolatey.
Yeah, let's do sweet and salty.
Okay. If I'm craving something chocolatey, a chocolate milkshake, even though I'm a little lactose intolerant.
Almond milk, oat milk, or dairy? Are we going at In-N-Out or
anything, any kind of chocolate milkshake.
Okay.
Though I don't do normal white milk. We do almond milk.
Right.
Just
making sure.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't drink that.
No, me either. But sometimes I sacrifice because I'm craving it and I know what I'm going to go through. But it's like, no, I have to have this chocolate milkshake. So if I'm, craving something chocolatey, I'll do a chocolate milkshake. If I want something physical, any kind of chocolate, like literally I will eat anything with almonds in it. Like, love a chocolate covered almond, That's something. And then salty, I love some plantain chips. Oh, that's so Latina of me.
Oh, yes. Okay, Trader Joe's has the best plantain chips.
The garlic dip.
Yes, but which plantain chips do you have from Trader Joe's?
Both. The ones that you introduced me to.
Okay, I'm about to say.
And the Jamaican seasoning ones.
Yeah,
Come
the Caribbean
on.
ones.
The Caribbean ones. Yes. So yeah, I would say chocolate is definitely, I mean, you know me. I eat
She's literally the snack queen. Maybe I should have ended with this one.
I'm like, I eat everything.
If you could describe your current vibe in one word, what would it be?
My current vibe?
Yeah. Where are you at?
My current vibe is just flowing. I'm just flowing like a river.
I love it. What is your favorite way to recharge your soul?
Nature. Going out in nature, doing anything outside.
I love that.
Yes.
What's one mantra or affirmation that always brings you back into alignment?
Oh, I love this one. I always say I am affirmations, and there's like a little circuit of one. Should I disclose for your viewers?
Please.
Okay.
If you guys made it this far to the end, you deserve it.
Yes. So there's a mantra that I say with I am that usually immediately brings me back to like a peaceful state, and it's always saying, I am healthy, I am whole, I am complete. I honor the ends of the cycles I meet. I rest, I soften, I let go, and I also take flight. My light body returns to its home tonight.
Ooh, I love that. You get a little jingle. Okay, last one. If you could use one emoji for the rest of your life, which one would it be?
One emoji?
Yeah.
You know, I'm not really big on emojis other than like the
black
hearts.
heart, right?
I've been using red lately.
Oh,
Give me
wow.
credit.
Okay. I love it.
The black was definitely my thing. So I would say just the hearts or the little dancing. Dancing flamingo girl.
Yeah. You know the purple one.
She said disco.
Oh yeah, duh, I should have known. Hello,
with the red dress.
My bad. I'm all. Thank you guys so much for having fun and crying and laughing and just vibing with me and my girl. Before we leave, Denise, please close us out and let us know where we can get the ebook and follow you on social media and keep up with all the amazing things that are coming.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me. I loved having this conversation. And you guys can follow me on denise.rodri across all my platforms. If you are interested in downloading the ebook course, you can do so on my website, deniserodri.com.
Thank you guys so much for listening and watching Soul Cync. We will see you guys soon. Bye.